Hello, Warriors. How's everyone doing today? Alexander, how are you? AJ, hi, Brand, Kman, Sinatra, James Groom, hi, Michael Weissman, Ryan, George. Everyone doing okay? Have some news today. So why don't we start off with the U.S. dollar yen here? Earlier in the week, I said I didn't think it was a short. Having some trouble here at 7.5, but it's going to start looking better over 48. That would most likely take it out of here. I could adjust this trend line and give it more room off the prior two highs, or I could anchor it off that high there, and it's more like 47.80 for it to break out of the wedge. So, Ryan, what are you thinking here? Good morning to you, buddy. Okay, how about you, K-Man? Good morning to you.
Hey, Dale. Yeah, good morning, good morning. Yes, didn't react much to some comments overnight by one of the Japanese Bank of Japan deputies. It's a grind for now, and as I said yesterday, I think the US data are taking the lead for the rest of the week. And yeah, I agree with you, 148. The daily cloud, the bottom of the daily cloud is also coming in at 148.08 for a while. So that is going to be an interesting watch already on the dollar yen if we get a bit of a move higher on any stronger US data. And for the rest, yeah, we're waiting. They're all pushing us back to those wage negotiations in should know more about that come February. But if that is what the Bank of Japan is going to really hang on to make decisions, it could be a long wait for the yen. And in that case, I'd say perhaps not really good for the yen, unless the rest of the world falls apart around it, of course.
Okay, Euro still demonstrating, it's still the weak sister.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to have to test, I was thinking 107.50, but maybe 107.
Yeah, the whole zone is already important enough today, 35.70, 35.65. I have been gradually scaling down my shorts from close to 110 and leaving myself room to maneuver now. It could be enough. If it's only a correction, could be enough around here, 107, 35.60 or so. The 107.35-ish is the 50% of that October-November move.
Okay.
I think reflection time.
Reflection time?
Reflection time, reassessment time.
Okay. Do you think it's really all going to boil down to the NFP Friday? Usually does sometimes,
Well, the European situation is a bit weaker. They're also struggling with their budget talks, whether it be Germany or pan-Europe. I think really the euro is on the weak side. We can see it on the euro crosses as well, and so the better US data will for sure push it lower. I think the euro dollar. Now.
Well, I know some wave guys were looking for, not much more than 104.20, 104.30 before we get the next shot down towards,
Well, that's your level then in euro dollar.
What's that?
That's your level then in euro dollar, mid to low 107s. This is probably going to be right there. And then
new lows of the dollar.
Not in my playbook right now, but
yeah. Okay. Any comment before I go to Ryan about relative strength of commodity currencies? They still seem to be, if you want to be short the dollar, USD CAD, rallied back towards, supply. And it's putting in an ugly day.
Coming in there as well around that 135.90, 136. And the Aussie dollar, it's probably going to be all about the 65 and a quarter. So I expect this Bank of Canada today, I expect a neutral one. I mean, people are looking for, oh, can be tilted hawkish or dovish, but I really expect really only a neutral one.
Okay.
But there's an interesting one if it stays a little bit on the hawkish side, because EURUSD is not really far from break levels. And if euro dollar would be pushed a bit lower, would combined with the Bank of Canada, where they may not give in yet, that could put another bit of pressure on the EURUSD, for instance.
Okay. Good morning, Ryan. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, well, good, mate.
Thank you, Kman. So getting a bounce in the metals. You know, I didn't know till a week or so ago that you traded this stuff, but a lot of people are talking about, you know, that this could be, you know, an A, and then we get a B, and then we get a C. What do you do with a chart like this after a big key reversal?
Usually ignore it.
Yeah.
And focus on the price action was pretty key. If you look at a shorter term chart, we had that level around 2075. We broke it in that spike. We came back below. We held it on the secondary tests after that. So it's still a level. You use that spike. Spike was an outlier. You largely ignore it, or I largely ignore it, and focus on the prior level, which showed up 5 minutes after. So yeah, the resistance is still that 2075 area, and you use that as your marker. But where it bounced off that break point, 2009, 2010. You know, classic price action there. That's where we were banging our head on. Again, if you take it down to maybe an hour chart or something, and you can see that we had that bounce, you know, right off that former resistance that we were watching beforehand. There you go. So just zoom it out a little bit. So yeah, see that area just towards the 24th of November?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, right there. We had it was all resistance, and you know, we pretty much pinged off it yesterday. I think 2010 was the low, or 2009 was the low. And yeah, that's where it's holding. So does it mean we're going all the way back up again? I think it's got a bit of work to do. The levels are coming back in 2040 there. Then we'll probably get around 2060 and then into those highs again. So it's got a lot of work to do at the moment.
What are you looking for on this number? Any surprises, you think?
The ADP, yeah, I think if it's there or thereabouts as expected, I don't think we do much. But this market's going to flip around if it's a big miss or a big beat, because it's all about what happens next week with the Fed. And you know, we're talking, the market is in full-on rate cut mode. So it's either going to get numbers that confirm its view that we're getting rate cuts, and maybe sooner than everyone thinks, or it's going to say, well, those rate cuts might be pushed back a bit if it's a strong number.
Remember, we talked about euro pound on this trend break. It's a pretty nice move. New lows, or you think it'll dig in its heels and recover?
If we break this 85.50 that's shown up, we'll probably be on for a test of 85 again. And that for this move, you know, would be I'll be looking at as a stretch point. I'll be looking to add back to my longs. I've still got a little bit left. I'm happy to keep them and add back in against that level, depending on the move down there. But if we do hold this 85.50, got to take out that 86, 86.10. If not, then we probably break lower.
Okay, so I heard yesterday you were trading Brent. You were short. I just have WTI up here. New lows. Is it, you know, a little bit too much, too fast here? Or will we get some support?
I don't think so. I mean,
then we're going to 60.
Was,
go to 62, back to these lows where they're tagging right here.
I think we probably run into trouble around that, you know, that 67 area. See that triple bottom that came in after those lows.
Okay.
We've obviously got the right on that line. We've obviously got the bid and bids coming in probably around $70. But yeah, I've been short this one since the OPEC stuff, because I had a feeling that whatever happened, it was going to get sold after. and here we are. And WTI has just broken below a zone 72, 73 bucks. So yeah, I fully expect to get a move on 70, where those bid and bids in. That probably comes in right close to that moving average.
That's the 50-week moving average.
Nice,
right there. So
yeah.
And also, Coach, that's the 78% retracement of this whole move.
Of
like
this.
that exactly where your cursor has just gone. This whole last bump up, on the weekly charts, we're at a 78% retracement. Hey, good morning, guys. We have ADP Blake. Data in like less than 5 minutes.
Okay. I thought it was the bottom of the hour. So go ahead.
Yeah. We have ADP coming up. Do you mind if I take over, Coach?
No.
All right. So how you doing today there, Dale?
Well, I'm always glad when you take the charts away from me.
It's just, you're like, yes, now I can go.
Please hurry up and take.
chill. All right. Yeah. So, hey, Kman said something that I am doing something that he has been doing, is taking his euros off. I took all of my euro shorts off this morning, actually, just recently. And that's not because I don't want to be short euros or long dollars. It's just I know we're at a pretty key pivot, and we have very important data coming up today. And I've been shorting the euro since last week. As that failure at the 618 retracement. I've talked a lot about it on the week ahead videos and all these shows, and I'm covering up all of my euro shorts here. Like I said, I'm not in the camp that the euro's done going down. It's just I don't want the exposure going into ADP today, weekly jobless claims tomorrow, NFP on Friday. We got CPI next week, and Ryan, you said something, probably the most important thing you've said, in the last couple of days.
Came here. No,
since you've been with since you've been with ForexAnalytix is that the Fed's in or the market is in rate cut mode, and we're waiting on data to see if this is a valid assessment of the market right now. So I think that's so important with today's ADP data.
Where would you be looking to buy the euro? 105, Blake? Is it much below 107?
You mentioned that on over the last couple of weeks around the 105 level. I'm not sure. I'm not. If you look at the 618, it comes in at 106.60. So I guess that's a good starting point.
Right.
But I'm not sure. Because I wish I could sit here and say that I'm really bullish the euro, and I'm not. And I am definitely in the camp that if we catch a cold, Europe's going to catch the flu, and then
they already have the flu.
Well, Kman, you brought up another point about the budget in the German budget and in the eurozone. It's going to be a challenge for next year. So anyway, I don't know, Dale. I wish I had a better answer for you. I still think we need to be on the short side, and I would love to short the euro any move above the 200 DMA, which comes in at around 108.25. So if we
did read, even though the DAX is making new all-time highs, that I forgot which stat it was in Germany, but it's actually weaker than it was during COVID. During COVID, not after COVID, which is pretty amazing.
Wait, so what's weaker than it was? I'm not sure I'm following.
It was economic data out of Germany.
Okay.
That shows that I'm not sure which one it was, industrial production, whatever, but it's weaker than it was during COVID. That's how weak things are.
It's amazing. You get these markets that are like, well, we're gonna. What's going to happen with the German economy if the ECB ends up being one of the first central banks to start cutting, and then you get the DAX that's rallying to all-time high. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me, but there's a lot of things in the markets that still after 20 some odd years don't make sense to me either. So what the hell?
Price is king.
Yeah, right. Price action is leading us in that direction, and I guess that's the way we got to go. Anyway, we have ADP data coming out in just here it is.
103 instead of 130 expected.
Weak.
Yeah, a little bit weak. We got the euro bouncing here. Yields are coming down. Stocks are so far loving it, right? Vindication of a dovish Powell, or a Powell not pushing back.
Euro dollar a massive 5 pips higher.
Woo! Screaming.
Yeah, that's not a number to get anyone worried. It's last month was 113k, which has just been revised down to 106k.
Yeah, you just saw that revision pop up. Yeah,
it's there or thereabouts. It's not a huge miss. It's not a negative number. It's not a huge beat. So, yeah, let the market jump around for 5 minutes and get back to normal.
Yeah, not a lot happening there, which is fine by me. Okay, so hey, today we have the Bank of Canada. Speaking of employment, I mean, look at I almost said it again. I say it all the time. I can't say Canada, and I say Canada. It just
I do that as well.
It just blurts out. Like I don't get it. It's been weird. It's like a problem. Anyway, this Canadian news thing is, speaking of jobs, the labor market in Canada has been really hot, and I think that's one of the things that we have the Bank of Canada today. And I do believe they're going to keep rates unchanged. I think the market is pretty, consistent in that. But, they're, like I said, their labor market's been undoubtedly strong. I don't get it. And, I know that Canada is going to be faced with, some issues with refinancing mortgages in the months ahead, but that's in months ahead, not necessarily today. What do you guys think about? I heard Kman, I heard you talk a little bit about the EuroCAD. We can go there, but just with the Canadian in general, with crude oil, obviously slumping. And by the way, Dale, I wanted to show you. Here's that 78% retracement in crude, just so you can see it. It's right here at 70.50 or 70.47.
A little divergence there too, bro.
Yeah, a little divergence. You got 127% extension, and you got Biden administration filling up the reserves down here at 70. So if they're buying it down there, I guess why shouldn't you? I don't know.
I think President Biden shouldn't be put under that kind of physical stress to hold that gas pump.
He still thinks it's Tuesday, bro.
Huh?
He still thinks it's Tuesday.
But he's to fill up the whole SPR with a gas pump is too much ask of President Biden.
I have dad jokes and you have bad dad jokes. That's all right. So anyway, going back to Canada, Ryan, what do you think about the BOC today?
Probably a bit of a nothing burger on that one as well. There's no need for them to, come out dovish or hawkish. They got panicky, didn't they, before their last meeting with those higher inflation numbers? Then the number just before their meeting cooled them down a bit, cooled their jets, as you guys would say in America. So yeah, I'm not expecting much to do from this one. But if you do get something hawkish or dovish sounding, then there's some decent levels to look at. Dollar CAD gets down to that 135 area on a bit of a hawkish note, and the dollar's still looking strong. That's something I'll be sniffing out for a possible counter trade, and same on the upside as well.
Yeah, I would say that this is
we're bang in the middle of those two good levels, really.
Yeah, whenever we're faced with a big decision, the Fed, Bank of Canada, jobs report, whatever it is, when I'm looking at an asset class and you can tell the market is kind of undecided or neutral, you can see the range that's being played right now, and you can say, well, we're in the middle of that range. And this is the market telling you we're not too sure. I was just reading another, even though I feel that the BOC could be a little bit more hawkish because of their labor market, I was just reading another report this morning that was talking about, looking out for a dovish, BOC. And again, for their reasons, and you can see that the market's just kind of undecided, and we're right in the middle. So yeah, as you're talking, Ryan, the fringe here, 136.35, 135 or 136.35 and 135. You touch one of those two edges and maybe playing counter into this trend makes sense to me anyway.
Hey guys, Bran is asking about cable. If Blake, you could ask the guys about the pound. I don't think we covered it.
Yeah, we got a double top, and we got to start breaking through these lows to and notice that even on weak US data, the cable can't get out of its own way. And I got to tell you, I'm going to give you guys a freebie for those of you not in the ForexAnalytix community. I started shorting some sterling just a little while ago. So the way I'm doing it is I'm playing Dale's favorite currency right now, playing the euro sterling on the long side with divergent relative strength, and going long here. And if you want to see that, you can just go right here and see where I'm
is it a pattern in play? Maybe some of our attendees don't know that we put out the pattern in play, the trades, and they go out and they go out on your phone. You don't have to be sitting in front of your laptop or whatever you use.
Yeah, the patterns in play are just our team, not just me, it's our team, identifying certain setups in the market and what we see and why, and we've kept history of those we have 83 pages of them from the last 7 years. So you can see all the gains and losses. It's and it's historically there. So anyway, yeah, those patterns in play are around. So yeah, make sure you check those out. But I am playing the euro sterling on the long side here. I think the cable is going to start underperforming, just because it's had such a great run, and I am looking to play it on the long side. So as long as we stay above this 85.50 level, so anyway, that's what I'm looking to do here. Let me go back to the Canadian Kman. You were talking about the Euro CAD. What are your thoughts here? Because you posted some analysis in the chat room, as you post a lot of analysis throughout the day, but you had something to say specifically about the Euro CAD. What are your thoughts?
We're very close to support here, just around 146, give and take 145. 3/4, 146 the figure, or 80 figure. I think it's important enough. As I said, I'm not expecting Bank of Canada to pick really a side. They're probably going to join the rest of the crew. Bit higher for longer, and we are data dependent. But if there would be anything dovish, that 38.2 there that you're showing, 147.13, and then I've got some levels around 147.5 again that will certainly attract my attention to try and sell a few, I reckon. But if it breaks through that 145, call it 80 figure, there might be a bit of room there to run further if they would be a bit more hawkish still. Especially looking at how the euro is trading, right? The euro is definitely a bit weak right now. So that's, if you want to steer away from the dollar, that's perhaps a decent cross to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's here's the thing I would just think about, just looking at this chart real quick. We had such an aggressive sell-off. You can see it. We just once we broke here, it just it was like a waterfall type of price action, right? And this last leg, you can see how relative strength is trying to work, and it's working off oversold, so it's divergent as it does that. So like the next plunge lower, if we get some Canadian strength following the BOC and we push through the support here, this is going to end up creating a divergent relative strength. So that means that this at 145, I would expect buying to step in. So that would be my quick read on this chart.
Yeah, that's a technical. I don't disagree, but look at what it did with oil's absolutely collapsing.
Yeah,
it still went down. So
it did.
That tells me something about the relative balance between both.
And the flip side to that is, and just for those of you that are trading the oil Canadian correlation, take a look at the US dollar Norwegian krona. You have oil collapsing, right, to 70. But now whether it catches its breath here or not is to be seen. We have this inverted head and shoulder pattern that continues to play out. Now we just hit the nearing the 618 retracement, just hit the 50 DMA. You can see it right here. Let me zoom in. So you got the 50 DMA. You still have some resistance coming up, that we're fighting. But this weak crude oil is definitely playing into the US dollar Norwegian krona to the upside. So much different picture than you see in the dollar CAD.
Indeed,
so,
very, very different. Especially and the Norges Bank didn't help the Norwegian kroner either at the end of the month, announcing they will sell equal amounts of Norwegian kroner this month every day compared to what they did in November, and where everybody or most of the Scandinavian analysts were expecting that they would scale down on that amount, they're still selling Norwegian kroner every day.
Yeah, that's a pretty. Oh, sorry, I was just looking at something. We do have trade balance data coming out in about 3 minutes. Hey, Dale, did you have an interview, a guest today?
No, but I wanted to ask Ryan. I was just reading something. Are you hearing, Ryan, that the UK should mask up again because of this virus in China? Are you hearing that in the UK?
No, not hearing that, but my wife works for the NHS and she gets all the alerts, and down here they're at full capacity in our local hospital and not taking any more patients. I think this is something that's not just for the UK. It's popping up in many places, but no, I'm not.
Isn't
not
it
heard
respiratory, Ryan?
Yeah, mainly children are getting like a pneumonia.
Isn't it respiratory?
White lung, they call it.
Yeah, this thing that they've had in China, and I'm not sure if it's completely respiratory, but it's we always get an uptick in seasonal flus and colds and whatever. There's not been too much news saying it's anything untoward just yet. Like it's this respiratory thing that's going around in kids and that. But if we hear anything, I'll make sure you know about it.
I get bad gas this time of year.
You get what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that too much information? I'm jumped.
What did you say?
I said I get bad gas this time of year.
Oh,
I'm joking. I'm just, hey, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. Come on. So, it's something I've heard a lot about, Dale, but it's interesting. You try to pull that here in the United States and everybody's going to be like, yeah, whatever.
I know. COVID 2.0. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. There'll be a revolution.
Right. Hey, I'm going to see Skid Row on Friday and I'm masking up. So I'm just letting you guys know. I am seeing Skid Row on Friday. Can you believe that?
Really? What, the old Skid Row?
Yeah, like Sebastian Bach. Yeah, I'm seeing Skid Row.
Oh, I'd love to see those guys over here again.
Yeah, and it's going to be an awesome concert. So, and it's a real small venue. So,
boy, am I old? I don't even know who they are.
Come on,
honest to God, Blake.
It's a hair band. It's the best hair band ever.
All right, well, I'm gonna play a YouTube video and check them out if you're going to a concert.
Gosh, just
what's the name again? Because
you'll be singing "I Remember You" till the cows come home.
All right,
make sure
looking for new material to cover. So anyway,
hey, we do have just real quick. We have some trade balance data coming out. And let's see what happens. I don't think we're gonna expect any fireworks here. US.
Man, I'm so jealous. You're seeing Skid Row.
Skid Row.
Yeah.
You know, I remember in Chicago going to see the Blackhawks, and it was right off Skid Row. All right, you know, and it was the middle of winter, and you'd see people standing by fires and garbage cans. And I still remember, and my dad said, "You don't want to end up here, son." And you know what? That it's amazing. I could still remember it all these years later. Yeah, standing by a garbage can to stay warm in 30 below temps. And I went on to watch the Blackhawks and Bobby Hull. So
after seeing Skid Row.
yeah,
Interesting.
interesting
Canadian
name
data
for a
came in a
band.
little stronger. US, trade data came in a little weaker, so it's going to allow for some dollar CAD weakness here, ahead of the Bank of Canada. So, and hey, before we take off for the day, because it is going to be kind of quiet ahead of the BOC, I think we should talk about a couple of things. We should talk about, first of all, the grind higher in the S&P. Let's not ignore the fact that we're just continuing to grind higher in this channel that we've been stuck in for like literally the last 2 weeks, despite all the the recent rally that we've seen in the Dow and the German DAX. We just have the S&P that just continues to grind higher. So I think while we remain above 45.35, you have to be respectful of the fact that we are just grinding higher, and this grind could last throughout the month of December. I'm not going to ignore that we can. So just just
where's the rug pull? Where's the line coming in for a rug pull underneath?
I think it's at 45.35. So it's about it's about 50 points lower than where we're currently trading. Okay, so I still believe this 4,600 is really key resistance, but we're 15 points away from that. It's a very annoying grind that we're getting in the markets, and that's risk appetite for you. The other thing I wanted to discuss really quick before we go is you guys mentioned is gold. Gold is holding, but the bounce has been pretty shallow considering the move, the reversal that we saw a couple of days ago. But realize that the 38% retracement, which comes in basically where we're at. You can see this 38% retracement is at 2020, and we're at 2029 right now. And I think while we're above 2010, you have to be respectful of the breakout. But that long wick is definitely, it definitely is dissuading some bulls at this point. Anybody who's bullish is like, man, I don't know if I want to get stuck in that. Do you guys have any thoughts on precious metals here?
I'm long.
You are long. When did you get long?
Well, I was planning to buy at 2010, but then I went manual and I missed it, so I bought overnight. But it's all small, I'm just trading off that 2009, 2007, 03. There's a lot to do there. But yeah, the bounces are it's still a bounce of $20, right? I mean, compared to that stupid Sunday night thing, it's nothing. But I still think that Sunday night thing is it's there, but I'm not taking it too much into account. It just destroyed a lot of value for people who got stopped out, triggered into longs, then thousands of clients calling their banks to try to figure out what happened with those stupid machines.
Yeah.
But no, I like that 2010 because it gives you or 203, 2003 or 08. I've got like plenty of stuff down there, but it gives you a good bit of psychological support as well. Just above 2K. I've got nothing sizable. That is one thing. And yes, we could get down to 1980s. Why not? But still looks constructive to me, especially if you look at how the market's mood is right now, still for yields to have topped out, bond markets to do a bit better. I kind of just like to trade off the level,
That's the right trade selection, Blake, that Kman did. If you look at the gold-silver ratio, it looks pretty constructive, which favors gold outperforming, which it has been for a little while. See that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does look a little bit better. You know, what's this telling you, Dale? The gold silver ratio right now.
It's telling me, usually that means dollar strength, and it's saying that people are favoring gold because silver has the industrial component, and
right,
I
like
think
more
it's
of
going
a
to be
risk aversion type of view, right?
Gold more monetary
Yep.
than silver. Silver, a lot of the reasons is solar panels and the green economy and that kind of stuff, and would be more vulnerable to kind of the weak numbers we're starting to get. Gold's
Interesting.
yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have to watch that as things evolve. Maybe it's given us a little bit of a leading indicator. Wait, one last thing before we go, and I wanted to actually listen to Ryan and Kman here, since you guys were up. I was watching with my son. I was watching the Suns game last night before I went to bed. So basketball. So I wasn't really paying too close attention, but I did see that the Aussie continued to rally following the Australian GDP data that came in weaker than expected. And I was like, yeah, that's we were getting back to 66 cents, which, I knew was, pretty big resistance come yesterday, because we were talking about it. This is yesterday, about 24 hours ago. I was doing analysis with the, ForexAnalytix clients. And as you can see, identified resistance is 66 cents. And so we were trading around 66 cents yesterday. I'm like, it's resistance. We shouldn't break above that last night. But I was, watching, like I said, basketball. But I wanted to know, why do you guys think that the Aussie was ripping last night? Any particular reason? Because I didn't see anything. Did you see anything, Ryan?
No, I didn't see anything. I had my fishing rod out for a move down to that 65, 40, 25 zone, but didn't get
Maybe
any bites.
China popped. Baba.
Well, China's
copper was
been
bouncing.
intervening again. China's been intervening again, so which is a bit of a strange move after that we've seen it move down. I don't know. Maybe it was that gold bounce just helping things along. Like we said, we're seeing a bit of commodity space, doing all right. The commodity
Copper
FX
still looks.
But like you say, as soon as it got to a big level, 66, it banged its head, and here we are.
Yeah, Kman, you have any thoughts there?
No, I think perhaps the initial beat versus 1.7% expected came out 2.1. That maybe done it. We're seeing a bit of those moves in Asian times. It does feel like it's a bit illiquid in there, right? And perhaps it's more to do with that. I also think that people were looking at and again, I'm here with my crosses, but I've been trading crosses my whole life, so I'm always following them. It also looks like Aussie ran out of puff above 165, and we had a big reaction there with the euro continuing to be weaker or continuing to stay weaker in Asia. But no, apart from that, I don't see too much in it to drive it lastingly, in those data also.
Yeah, and I'll just tell you guys, I've been shorting the euro, or Aussie pretty consistently since the the up here towards channel resistance. You can see it in the patterns in play right here from basically the end of November, but it's struggling to get back above the 200 DMA, and this is going to be previous support, current resistance, pretty big pivot in the market. So I think, there's going to be some two-way price action around the 65 cent level. If you guys are more bearish risk, you probably want to focus on this on the downside. If you believe that, we are going to rally into year end, and, we're going to just make fools of all those bearish macroeconomists that have been, you know, nonstop bearish throughout 2023, and we're going to, you know, take them to the woodshed going into the end of the year. Then, you know, we get a little foothold above 66 cents, and maybe the Aussie dollar will trade higher. So depending on how you want to play risk, I think this is going to be a decent player. I think we've got, you know, two different ways you can try to skin this cat anyway. So
Yellen gave it a bit of a kiss of death yesterday. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, what did she say? What did Yellen say? She did say something funny.
Yeah, soft landing skeptics are now eating their words, not seeing unusual signs of weakening in the labour market that would bring fears of a recession. There you go. That's a negative NFP coming up on Friday.
She is. She's getting quite. She's been really. You know. I mean, that's those are
out on the limb, one would say.
Those are power player words. Like is she getting a little big for her britches? I don't know.
Maybe we'll see whether she gets.
We'll know if we see a tweet with. We'll know if we see a tweet with her having a beard. Remember those days?
Don't take me back to those days, please, Dale.
Quaker Oats packaging. Anyway.
Just before we clock off, just remind people we've got the NFP competition open. I've already put the link in the Zoom chat function there, so just a bit above if you want to scroll up and have your guess. Usual rules apply, and good luck to those taking part.
Yeah. If you guys don't know that, let me see. Let me pull up the ForexAnalytix tweet. It is. I know you were just retweeting it somewhere, but there's the non-farm payroll competitions. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Make sure you respond to the original one, so you can see all the votes here. So you have to look for where everybody else is voting. I voted for 90. Where am I? 90. I gotta see where I voted.
93, I think it was. Very pessimistic.
93,000, something like that. Yeah, like plus 93,000. So that's what my response was. Oh, right there. And so make sure you guys get your votes in. You have a couple of days. I know a lot of you are just waiting because you want to wait for all the data to come out, and you want to see the weekly jobless unemployment claims tomorrow. But get your vote in. It's a vote. It's a guess. It's a lottery ticket.
Don't be a Michael Brown and wait for
right.
10 seconds to go.
Right. All right, guys. Well. Anyway, and then this way you can win a month of ForexAnalytix. So there you go, and that goes for people that are currently with us in our family too. So Dale, I'm going to pass it back over to you because we're going to be waiting for the Bank of Canada. Kman, Ryan, thank you guys for being here today. I do appreciate you and your commentary and keeping us up to speed.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Dream Team. Good luck today. Good hunting today, and learn from you guys every day. So if I know everyone else who's listening has a shot to be learning from you guys. So remember, everyone, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Be grateful that you have excess funds to speculate with. Okay, a lot of people don't. So if you're in the game, you're ahead of 90% of people out there in the world, and be grateful. So see everyone tomorrow. I'll have Daniel Hussey Jr. tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to Friday, Blake. I have Jamie McGeever after the NFP. So for us to be talking about the upcoming Fed meeting after the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie's one of my favorites that you bring on. He's such a great reporter.
He loves
Reuters,
coming on too. You know, that's part of it. You know, there aren't many people that we've brought on to be interviewed here that don't want to come back.
Yeah. You know who used to be a Reuters reporter? Adam Button.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was with Reuters or one of the news. It wasn't Bloomberg, but he was with one of the news agencies, and before he, and
we have Pedro. So I mean, we have and Adam comes in. So we have some of the best financial news reporters vis-a-vis Adam's a trader now on the planet coming to fulfill
and it's all because of you, Dale. So thanks for bringing them on.
it's all because of the platform that ForexAnalytix developed, and glad to be part of this mission for almost 7 years coming up in April.
God, it's 7 years. Wow.
I've wasted my whole youth on this project. I'm just kidding. I never had youth when I came to this project. Anyway, guys, thanks very much, and everyone have a great day. See everyone tomorrow. Thank you, Ryan and Kman.
Thanks, mate.
And Blake.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.